You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Wednesday, July 1st. I'm Maria Lisignoli.
I'm Johnny Kahner. Thank you for watching and listening to Four Things to Know today.
Our top story is a tough one. Prosecutors say a Minnesota teenager should be tried as an adult for allegedly killing her mother with a hammer. Police found the body of the 43-year-old Friday morning in her apartment on Beebe Road in Maplewood. A neighbor told police the two had argued after the mother took away her 17-year-old daughter's cell phone. Another neighbor, Barb Goodrich, says the community is still coming to grips with the news.
We were all just totally shocked. We never thought that would, I know they argued and stuff, but we didn't think that was going to happen.
Right now, the court needs to certify the girl as an adult before the case could be moved out of juvenile court.
Number two, new laws go into effect in Minnesota today, and that's impacting schools, social media, and state projects. School districts now have to adopt an anonymous tip system on potentially harmful activity at school or involving students and staff. Social media platforms must have a mental health warning that appears each time a user accesses the platform, and that only vanishes when the user acknowledges the warning. And finally, a new law also establishes a state fund to update IT systems and sets aside $46 million on state projects for updates to Grand Casino Arena, a new clinic in North Minneapolis, and a city park in St. Paul.
Johnny, it is already July 1st.
Time is flying by.
This summer has just like a blink of an eye. And 4th of July is already this Saturday. So for our third thing to know today, we're talking about leaders working hard to keep your 4th of July holiday safe. And that was the opposite of safe. That's what it sounded like to be in Dinkytown in 2024 when people set off fireworks in the streets. And since then, leaders have made efforts to avoid a repeat of these explosive celebrations. And they say their plan is working. Adam Duxter has more with how they plan to keep you safe this year. And you'll also hear from Todd Barnett with the Minneapolis Office of Community Safety.
It's one of the most beautiful views you can get of downtown Minneapolis, especially on a day like today. But come July 4th, just this Saturday, you won't be able to access the Stone Arch Bridge along with a number of other bridges here over the Mississippi River. And our public safety officials, both for the city and county, say that is because they want to limit what you just saw in years past. Some of that chaos and craziness with the 4th of July evenings. And they say so far their plan is working, and they're pointing to last year as a reason why, because just this past 4th of July, they say we didn't see that craziness, the chaos, the arrests and whatnot. And they also say calls to 911 in the city of Minneapolis last year went down by nearly 1,000 compared to what they were seeing in years prior. Of course, if you can remember back to 2020 through 2022 through 2024, we saw dozens of arrests as people shot fireworks at each other, as well as people walking by, and even some instances directly at police. Law enforcement say this year they'll once again close a number of bridges and roads on the 4th, including the 3rd Ave Bridge and the Plymouth Ave Bridge, in addition to Stone Arch. They'll also limit parking at Boom Island Park. And they say these plans will hopefully keep the celebrations fun, but also safe.
We welcome everyone to the city of Minneapolis to celebrate the 4th of July, but we ask that you do that responsibly. We will have zero tolerance for anyone coming to the city to disrupt any celebration during this holiday weekend.
I also learned today, Johnny, that any firework that flies or explodes is illegal in Minnesota.
Wow. So anyone that goes to Wisconsin to pick them up is...
You can't do that, right? If you bring in fireworks from another state, that's also a good tip. If you bring in fireworks from another state, say Wisconsin or Iowa or wherever, that's also illegal. You could get up to a $3,000 fine.
Wow.
Or spend a year in jail.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. So this is serious stuff. The big events like the Red, White, and Boom,
they get a temporary license.
They
or
have a
something
permit.
Like
Exactly. Which it's so funny. Minneapolis, that their big fireworks show is called Red, White, and Boom, and so is St. Paul's.
Interesting.
Which is they copy each other, I guess.
Yeah, I like watching the fireworks, but I don't want to get anywhere near them.
Yeah.
You can just go haywire in a
I'm
hurry.
not trying to set off fireworks in my neighborhood
I'll do a little
cul-de-sac.
sizzler maybe.
Yeah, like a little sparkler.
Yeah, that's about it.
But you really do have to be careful with things like that, even when you're like in your own house, right?
Totally. And another thing to be careful of, this is our crazy story. It's our fourth thing to know today. There's going to be plenty of backyard barbecues this weekend. I'm probably going to have one. You might too.
Yeah.
I love it for the
celebrating.
4th.
Absolutely.
Totally. But a Minnesota family has a warning after a burger sent their son to an emergency surgery. Noah Walden unknowingly swallowed a tiny wire bristle from a grill cleaning brush while eating a burger in May.
What?
Crazy.
Yeah.
And that burger had been cooked on his family's own backyard grill. And Walden, he didn't notice anything unusual while eating it, but just a few days later, stomach pain kicked in.
Got up, couldn't lay back down. It was just so much pain.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, so then doctors ordered a CT scan confirming the metal was lodged in his bowel. And instead of passing through, it actually punctured his intestine. So we heard more from his mother, Amy.
Big surgery, a bowel resection. 3 inches of bowel resected roughly, and a 6-inch incision in his abdomen.
It's such a simple thing that you wouldn't even think about. A wire grill cleaning brush.
And he didn't know, obviously, when he was eating it, he
Right.
didn't feel it in his teeth. So
Or like
just
his
crazy.
throat or
Nothing.
anything, and it just went straight to his stomach. That is really wild.
Yeah, and the family is sharing their story in hopes, of course, that others will replace wire bristle brushes with safer alternatives. So things like wooden scrapers, a steam cleaner, or even a rolled up ball of aluminum foil. That can work too.
It's so simple,
Yeah.
but it really is something that can make such a huge impact.
Crazy.
I have one of those steam cleaners.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. They get kind of messy, but hey, better than a wire lodged in your abdomen.
Oh, man. Good
My
to know.
gosh.
Glad he's doing better now.
Me too. Yeah, I'm glad they caught it and everything was good.
Those are the 4 things to know today. And before we check in on our forecast, Maria, you learned something today on the weather sirens, the tornado sirens today.
Yes, that's right. So today, it's the first Wednesday of the month. Normally, Hennepin County does a monthly siren test, usually 1 o'clock. Today, they're canceling that because of the potential for severe weather. So if you do hear a siren, it's real and take shelter immediately. That is good to know as we head into this evening. Let's check in now with our next weather meteorologist.
We have a next weather alert through the evening hours for a severe weather threat that's going to bring a chance for some severe thunderstorms, especially south of the Twin Cities. But the severe weather outlook, which shows where those chances are highest, does include parts of the Twin Cities metro, including Minneapolis and St. Paul. We've got the warnings you need and the forecast you need online and on the app anytime.
And now, here's more to know.
State Patrol is investigating a deadly incident that happened around 2:30 this morning. I-94 westbound was closed along with several exits on 94 and 35W. Police confirmed this was some sort of deadly incident, but there's a lot we don't know, like what happened and who was killed. I-94 is now back open and traffic is flowing.
Happening today, some of those accused of breaking the law during the ice surge in Minnesota will be in court. The U.S. Attorney's Office charged them with conspiracy to impede or hurt ICE agents, interstate stalking, and assaults on officers. They have denied doing anything illegal, but the Justice Department says they have ties to Antifa. We will have an update for you later today online and our later newscast on how their court appearance goes.
Doctors at a prominent Minnesota hospital made the decision to walk off the job earlier today. A line of physicians say they have fought for their first union contract for 2 years now. So they've announced a decision to go on strike. Last year, a different group of 600 Allina doctors held a one-day strike, and they got a contract as a result. This group says they've bargained for 60 sessions and haven't reached an agreement. Doctors say they need a raise, paid sick time, and more protection for patients from corporate AI monetization tools. Here's one of those doctors, Dawn Anderson.
Getting physicians to agree is frequently called wrangling cats. And when you have over 90% of our voting members agree on a strike vote, what does that tell you? Does that tell you something's broken? Does that tell you your doctors are nuts and crazy? Or does it tell you that there is an inherent problem?
The vote gives the union the power to call for a strike at any point. The doctors don't know when or if it'll happen for sure, but they do have to file a 10-day notice before it can happen. We have reached out to Alina, but haven't heard back yet. We'll keep you updated.
Minnesota's first publicly lesbian lawmaker, Karen Clark, has died at the age of 80. The former representative was also the longest-serving lesbian state lawmaker in the country. She was a DFL member of the state house from 1981 until she retired in 2019. As a legislator, Clark championed LGBTQ causes and environmental initiatives like the Roof Depot project in the East Phillips neighborhood. Clark died after a brief illness. Details on a memorial service have not been released yet. We'll let you know when they are.
Events are happening all week in our nation's capital to celebrate America's independence. And we learned just yesterday that more than 100 National Guard troops from Minnesota are in D.C. to lend a hand. Governor Tim Walz says they're just there to help.
It's not all that unusual. I think what's unusual about it is when everything becomes hyper-partisan. But our troops are there, I think, just assisting people, telling them where things are at, helping people if they're overheated or whatever it might be.
In total, about 5,000 National Guard members are in Washington for support.
And Maria, speaking of the U.S., big soccer match tonight.
Oh, yes. The U.S. take on Bosnia-Herzegovina tonight in the World Cup. The game is happening in Santa Clara, California, starting at 7 p.m. And, Johnny, this is a knockout game. This is a knockout round. So if they lose, they're out of the World Cup.
Big stakes. And what do you know about our opponent tonight? You learned some interesting facts.
I've heard of the country Bosnia, but they tack on and Herzegovina there at the end, and I was like, what is happening? So I looked it up, and if you don't know, Bosnia and Herzegovina have been loosely connected throughout all of written history, but at one time they were two distinct countries.
Okay.
Once they finally united, they decided to keep both names to kind of honor the region and the history of both countries. So Bosnia and Herzegovina.
And I saw earlier, it's a big match. Apparently, it's like $1,350 just to get in the door.
You're lying.
Yeah.
No, I believe it. Of course.
It'd be so fun to be there.
I know. In sunny California.
You gonna watch tonight?
Oh, 100%. Oh, I do have a kickball game at that time, but it might rain, so it'll
Bring some
probably get
Budweiser
canceled.
or some Coors Light, an American beer. Do your part.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Lynx superstar Nafisa Collier, she's returning to practice.
Good news.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's great news. Yeah, the team said that today after she had surgeries on both ankles this offseason, but she's continuing to make progress. And the Lynx, they already have the best record in the league so far this season at 15-4. So she will, of course, only help them.
Absolutely.
And their next game is Friday. So maybe she returns Friday, maybe a little after, but good news there. The Twins lost last night, but they have their final game tonight in Houston. They're hoping to take 2 of 3 down there against the Astros. And today is the start of NHL free agency. As of this recording, nothing official on the Wild front yet, but we'll bring you another update tomorrow.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
An icon of Northeast Minneapolis could be yours. The former owner of Betty Danger's, a restaurant there in Northeast. Her name is Leslie Bach, and she's selling the Ferris wheel there.
The famous Ferris wheel.
The big green Ferris wheel that was at that corner for that restaurant. The ride was designed as a dining experience, and it had rotating gondolas for seating. Johnny, did you ever go to this restaurant?
I did. I was never on the Ferris wheel, though.
Okay.
But it was really fun. They had a great patio, good sandwiches. Yeah, and they're selling it for $275,000.
Oh, my gosh. The owner did say she wanted it to stay in Minneapolis, and I could just see some rich person from Ontonka, being like,
throwing it up there.
Let's put a big Ferris wheel right by the lake,
It's kind of like our London Eye, or, different things like that. Maybe they'll get it out to the fair. I mean, they can use more and more over there.
Sure, why not? But I mean, that's not the only thing for sale. The whole property is actually for sale, but the Ferris wheel is going to be sold separately. I mean, what would you do with a Ferris wheel?
I think it's got to go to like a county fair or something like
true.
that. Unless an insanely rich person just wants a Ferris wheel.
Yeah, on their property.
I wouldn't. Would you?
If I had a big enough property, why
you
not?
would take it. It'd be fun to have cocktails in for sunset or something. But that's what people did there, So
yeah, they'd take drinks and dinner out there. That's cool. What a fun restaurant idea.
Get it at the state fair.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it. Why not?
Why not? That's a great idea. Oh, thank you so much for listening here to 4 Things to Know with Johnny Kahner. I'm Maria Lisignoli, and we're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Love podcasts? Love Minnesota?
Check out the WCCO podcast studio lineup.
Hear the top stories of the day with 4 Things to Know.
Discover top female athletes and teams from around the state on women in sports.
Dive into stories about faith and belief, from your local leaders to your neighbors next door, with bigger than belief.
Stay in the know on the go with the WCCO podcast studio. Go to WCCO.com/podcasts.